Hey SAT prep students, I'm going to do some questions from the linear equations and graphs section. If you have any specifics, go ahead and shoot them to me in the comments on the Google Classroom page, and I can do those if you'd like a better explanation. Okay, we're going to jump right in. We're going to start in on page 38 if you have your book with you. If you don't, you can just follow along. I'm going to have the question videoed. Okay.
The first question is number 3 on page 38. Andrew works at a travel agency. He gets paid $120 for a day's work plus a bonus of $25 for each cruise he books. Which of the following equations represents the relationship between the total Andrew earns in a day D and the number of cruises he books C? Okay, pause it now, and in 3, 2, 1, I'll go over the answer. So essentially, Andrew is trying to figure out how much money he's going to make on a given day. So the way that I did it is I set it up as if I were making money. So D is the number that I would make during a day. And I know I'm going to make $120 straight no matter what. So $120 has no bearing on whether I sit and play Minesweeper all day or whether I book a bunch of cruises. So that 120 has no variable attached to it. So now we can basically stop because the answer is going to be C. C is the number of cruises. So you can tell if I booked more cruises, I would get more money. If I booked 4 cruises, I would make $220 for that day, which wouldn't be too bad. That'd be okay. Okay, we are going to now talk about number 4 on page 39. I'm going to read it for you, and then I would ask that you pause and try and figure it out. Vera is on her school's track and field team. In a practice long jump competition against her teammates, she gets 5 points for landing over the nearer line and 10 points for landing over the more distant line. She gets a total of 7 jumps and lands X times over the more distant line and the rest of the times over the nearer line. Which of the following equations represents a relationship between Vera's total score Y and the number of times she lands over the more distant line X? Okay, pause. And in 3, 2, 1, I'm going to go over the solution. Okay, here's the explanation for the Vera problem. So this is number 4. She jumps 7 times total. So the number of jumps needs to add up to 7. We're told X is the number of times she jumps over the longer line, the farther away line. Therefore, 7 minus X is the number of times she jumps over the shorter line. She gets 10 points for the longer line and 5 points for the shorter line. Now it's just a case of simplifying as much as I can. I use the distributive property to say 10x plus 35 minus 5x. And then I can combine like terms to get 5x plus 35. Therefore, my answer is B. Here we have number 6 on page 39. The graph shown represents which of the following equations? Luckily, all of these equations are in slope-intercept form, which is y is equal to mx plus b. I'm going to write that down for you. Y is equal to mx plus b. B is what's called our y-intercept. M is the slope. Okay? Notice all of these, I've got 2 different y-intercepts. I've got these tell me I've got y-intercept of positive 4, y-intercept of negative 4. So it's not going to be A or B because this line intercepts in negative 4. Then I have to ask myself, what is the slope? The slope here is 1/3 because I go, it's rise over run. I went 1 up, 3 over. So therefore my answer is C. Now we're on question 3 on page 45. What is the value of n that satisfies the equation 7/8 times the quantity n minus 6 is equal to 21 halves? The first thing we need to recognize is, what is it asking? The value of n that satisfies the equation means, what is n to make this true? What could n be? So all we have to do is solve for n. It's as simple as that. I'm going to show you the answer. Go ahead and pause. I'll show you the answer in 3, 2, 1. Okay, I've rewritten the expression here. 7/8 times quantity n minus 6 is equal to 21 halves. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply by 8/7 on both sides. That's the same thing as dividing by 7 and multiplying by 8. Multiplying by 8/7. That gives me n minus 6 is equal to 168 over 14. You can do some long division if you want, or you can say, well, let's see if this is an even number or a whole number. 14 goes in 140, of course, 10 times, and then I've got 28 left over, which is 2. 28 over 14 is 2. So my answer, n minus 6, is going to be equal to 12. Then I've added the 6 over, n is equal to 18. You would type 18 right there. Okay, the next problem we're going to do is number 5 on page 45. What is the value of z in the equation above? Okay, we're going. Here's our problem. I've got 4 plus z minus the quantity 3 plus 2z all over 6 is equal to negative z minus 3 times the quantity 5 minus 2 all over 7. I'm going to go ahead and start by looking at each term individually. So this term over here and this term over here I'm going to do separately, and I'm going to simplify them as much as I can before I solve for z. So with this negative here, this negative needs to distribute through that parentheses. That's the only purpose of that parentheses. So I've got 4 plus z minus 3 minus 2z all over 6 is equal to, this negative 3 distributes through that parentheses, negative z minus 15 plus 6 all over 7. Now I'm going to combine like terms on the top of each expression. So 4 minus 3, that's 1, and z minus 2z, that's minus z, all over 6. Over here I've got negative z, that's its own thing, and then minus 15 plus 6. So I've got minus z minus 9 all over 7. Now I'm going to cross multiply to get rid of my denominators. So multiply by, what I'm doing is multiplying by 6 over 6. Actually, no. Just multiplying by 6 over there, 6 over there, multiply by 7 over here, and 7 over here. And so the 6's cancel, these 7's cancel, and now I've got a simplifying expression that I need to take care of. So 7 times 1 is 7. 7 times negative z is negative 7z. Negative z times 6 is negative 6z. And negative 9 times 6 is negative 54. I'm going to add 7z to both sides. And I'm going to add 54 to both sides. You can do this in multiple steps if you wish. 61 is equal to z. Therefore, our answer is whatever that one is. I think it's D, if I remember right. Okay. Perfect. Next problem we're going to do is number 11 on page 52. Line A passes through the coordinate points negative 2/5, 0, and 0, 1. Which of the following lines will never intersect with line A? All right, so what this question is asking us is, can I determine the slope of line A? I can using this formula. This is rise over run, where y sub 2 and y sub 1 represent the y components of 2 points, my first point and my second point. And x sub 2 and x sub 1 represent the x components of those points. So when I do that, I get 1 over 2/5. 1 over 2/5, that's, if I remember keep, change, flip, that's the same thing as 5/2. So I'm really asking which of these lines, A, B, C, or D, has a slope of 5/2, because if slopes are parallel, they'll never intersect. And our only answer is B. We can see that that goes 5 up for every 2 over. Nice.
Hey y'all, I hope this was helpful. If you have any specific questions you want answered, go ahead and send me a message or put a comment here. I'm going to pick another section. I'm going to make another video right now. Hope you all have a great afternoon. Bye.